Hey guys, Michael here from Fish Tech for Beginners. This is part 2 of setting up your new aquarium. I'm going to tell you guys now how to cycle your brand new aquarium. Now that you got it all set up and you got your brand new fish, it's time to now cycle your aquarium. This is basically the process of getting your tank established with bacteria to break down the waste your fish produce. You need to understand the nitrogen cycle before. The nitrogen cycle is basically you have ammonia in your tank, which then is converted into nitrites, which is then converted into nitrates. The ammonia and the nitrites is what's poisonous to fish, and that is what your bacteria will break down into nitrates, which are less poisonous to fish, but in high levels can actually be harmful. This is easy to get rid of once you have established tank. Once you have established tank to get rid of your nitrates, this is why you need water changes. Which is about 10% once a week. So first things first, when you're starting to cycle, when you went and bought your new fish, make sure you picked up some ammonia strips or an ammonia alert tab, which is basically a little tab that starts to to your tank and tells you your ammonia level. Go ahead and add your new fish. First, put your new fish in the water. Let them get acclimated to the water by keeping them in the bag they came in. Put that bag in the water and let them sit there for about 10-15 minutes. Once the water's been acclimated, scoop the fish out with a net, put the new fish in your tank, but do not put that water from your bag in your tank because it could have parasites or it could have just nastiness in there. Don't do it. It could add problems later on to your tank. Now make sure that you picked up for a brand new tank. To make it cycle faster and better, make sure you picked up a bacterial supplement, which is basically a little bottle of a liquid, and it'll tell you exactly how much you need. This adds the beneficial bacteria automatically to your tank. If you know somebody with an established tank, ask if they can have an old filter pad or some gravel from that tank that's been established, because there's your bacteria, and it could save you money. And I'm sure your friend or whoever you know has a tank will glad you give their old filter pad, because they're probably going to throw it away anyway. After you've added your tank, you have your bacterial supplements, or for old filter parts, established filter parts, you're going to want to watch your ammonia levels. Your ammonia levels will probably spike the first week. It'll probably go to above 0.1 parts per million, which if they do go above that, it's time to do a water change. You probably want to do, for the first time, depending on how much it spiked, 10 to 25% water change in the first week. Or more, and maybe more often. You need to check your water level, check your water ammonia with your tabs or your ammonia alert every couple of days for the first 2 weeks during cycling, because this ammonia can just spike like crazy on a brand new tank, especially if you bought a lot of fish for cycling, which probably shouldn't do that. 2 to 3 fish at the most for cycling. For a small tank, maybe just 2 fish for a small tank. A larger tank, I would do 3 to 4. A larger tank as being maybe a 10 or more gallon tank. A 5-gallon tank, do about 3 fish, 3 hardy fish. A small tank, do 2 to 1 fish. Depending on, like a gallon and a half, 1 fish is plenty to cycle with. This process can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how much bacteria you put in the water to start off with. So once your ammonia has been going up and down and it's been keeping them in the safe zone, which your ammonia strips will have different leveling between a 0 to I think it's a 0.5. Depending, I've seen some that has 0.25 parts per million, 0.5. It's kind of weird. Basically, just read whatever your ammonia strip says is your safe zone or everything. And you want to also test for your nitrites at this point. Or about your week, after your week 2, go ahead and start testing for your nitrites. You'll probably see a large spike in that also. What you're waiting for is both your ammonia and your nitrites to go down to 0 and have a large amount of nitrates. Once you have a large amount of nitrates, do a 90% water change. This means your tank is cycled. Once you've done your 90% water change, take that water out, add new water. Before you add that water, put your dechlorinator in there, because it's a huge water change. Put that new water in there, maybe add a little bit more of your bacterial supplement, because you just did a very, very large water change. And now your tank should be cycled. It's a little helpful hints to make your cycling go faster. Adding established material from a tank. from a established tank. Bacterial supplements, also putting an aerator in your tank, such as just an air pump, which you'll put an air stone into your tank, which basically adds oxygen into your water. The bubbles break the surface on the water. You have exchange of gases and adds more oxygen. Oxygen makes your bacteria grow better. Also, your filter. Make sure your filter has a good bacterial filtration, which means good air surface area for a bacteria to grow on, or a filter sponge. Also, you can make sure that your filter sponge can be your bacterial filtration. Also, it also can be your mechanical. Just take a scoop of your aquarium water, rinse your sponge in there. Make sure just rinse it off in there. Make sure it still could probably be a little green stuff. That's your good bacteria. Go ahead and put your filter sponge back in there. Don't wash it with chlorinated water because you'll kill your beneficial bacteria, and then you'll start all over again, and you'll lose all your fish if you keep losing your bacterial filtration during your biological filtration. If you keep destroying your bacterial colony, you'll never get done. It'll just be a hassle. Also, bacteria like to grow in your gravel, so don't disturb your gravel too much by changing it. If you decide you don't like your color of your gravel, or you don't like your gravel at all, or whatever substrate you do, don't change it, or don't do large amount change. Do no more than 10% of your gravel, or actually don't even touch it. Don't even change your gravel while cycling. Make sure your filter has been fully cycled and your tank is fully cycled before you do any substrate change. And then when you do substrate change, you probably will have to do some cycling again because you've lost a lot of bacteria. See, anything else I forgot for a cycling tank? Oh, there's also fishless cycling of a tank. Basically, that's adding store-bought ammonia that has no soaps, no scents. It's just straight ammonia, or I actually am using 10% ammonium hydroxide, which is 10% ammonia, 90% water. It's for cleaning. I got that Ace Hardware. It's very hard to find, actually, just straight ammonia. For some reason, grocery stores don't sell it. It all has chemicals and soaps and detergents and scents in it, and that'll just kill all your fish and mess up you won't cycle your tank. It'll just sterilize your tank. Basically, to do a fishless cycling, you won't put fish in your tank. Once you've got your your tank all settled and everything, instead of adding fish to your fish cycling, you will add the ammonia, certain amounts of ammonia to your aquarium to bring it up to between 0.4 to 0.5 parts per million. Waiting for that to go back down to 0, then adding again to bring it up to that level. And you keep wanting to do that process until within a 24-hour period, your ammonia level goes, when you add ammonia, within a 24-hour period, it goes back down to 0. Test for nitrites. If your nitrites are still really high, keep doing that process. Once your ammonia and your nitrites have gone down to 0 within a 24-hour period, 90% water change, just like normal. Put new water in there because your nitrates are going to be really high. After you put your new water in there, maybe add a little bit more bacterial supplement, and there you go. You have a fully cycled tank, and you can go straight into whatever fish you want. This is a little bit easier on your fish, but takes a whole lot more testing. You have to watch this constantly. A best way to where you don't have to constantly buy strips is to get an ammonia alert tab. Ammonia alert tabs are great for a fishless cycle. So yeah, you can either do a fish cycle or fishless cycle. Most people do a fish cycle. Fishless cycle is kind of new. Past couple years, it's kind of growing popular. I'm trying it right now in my red cherry shrimp tank, and I'll tell you how that goes. It's right now in about the first week of that. It's been going pretty fine. The water's clear. Ammonia's still at 0.2 parts per million. It was at 0.5. It's going down to 0.2, so we are gaining progress on that. And yeah, I'm looking at my notes right here. That should be it about cycling a tank. That's the very base minimum. Some things can go wrong with it, but when you start changing if you change your filter out during your cycling, you've basically got to start all over again, and you might lose your hardy fish. Don't do that. I did it on this tank. I have a video of this tank that I told you I did that because the filter actually killed one of my fish. The pump was way too strong on it. It said it was rated for this tank. It was not. Yeah, so just don't change your filter out during your cycling. Actually, don't change your filter out at all unless it breaks. There should be no reason to change a filter out. Like change the whole filter out. Now, filter cartridge. If you probably shouldn't have to change your filter cartridge out during cycling either. It can last up to a month. Even if it says 2 weeks to leave it, don't change your filter out. It's gaining its bacteria up. You start changing filter pads out during your cycling, and you'll start messing up with your cycling process. Yeah, that's all the stuff I can think of off the top of my head for cycling. Make sure your temperature is at about 78 degrees during cycling. You can actually, if you're doing an official cycle, you can bring it up to over 80 if you have a heater, because your bacteria like high temperatures to cycle. Doing a fish cycle, keep it at 78. Do not bring your temperature up over above 80. You will kill your fish. Yep, that's pretty much it with cycling. If you have any questions about cycling, please leave a comment in this video. I will hopefully get back to you. I am in college right now, so if I don't get back to you that exact day, within a day or two, I should have your comment answered. So, also, if you're watching this video and you see somebody put a comment and had a question, and you know the answer, go ahead and answer it and help them out. This whole channel right here is everyone helping out everyone out. New people learning from people that have been doing this for a little bit, and just trying to get everyone have a nice little place you can go to learn about how to keep their aquariums. Yeah, so have fun, guys, cycling your tank. Just remember that it might seem long, a 4-week process. Just you got to be patient. But once it's done, your aquarium will be nice and ready. It won't be a hassle. So let's have fun with doing this, guys.